Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of Chairmen of the Board. I am Tyler.
And I'm Danny.
And today we're going to be doing another app game review. Luckily, both of us have played it, so now both of us can go ahead and do that review. And Danny, what game is that?
It's called Among Us.
And it is by Inner Sloth. It's actually a really fun app game. I think that's why we both have played it. Originally, I had downloaded it because I heard it was something similar to a shitter game that we've talked about before. But then I realized, if you were to do this on the can, you would sit there until your legs went numb. You get pulled in very quickly.
Yeah, I would have to agree. And I'm not really big on app games. I'll download them, play them for a little while, and then just kind of let them go. But this one really captured my attention, I have to say that.
Yeah, I think the fact that you actually play with people online, you can play at a party up to 10, and then the way it works is if you've ever played that card game on a bus or with a group of friends called Mafia, where some people are part of the mafia, some people are civilians and stuff like that. That game has a little more layers with Sheriff and Angel, but this one is just you gotta kill people and go as you go. So basically, getting into the gameplay, there's anywhere from 1 to 3 imposters, and then the rest are just crewmates. And then everyone has tasks to do, except for the imposters. The imposters have to kill people without getting caught. So they can jump into vents, they basically kill and run. Now they can do fake tasks and make it look like they're doing stuff, but for the most part, their job is to kill.
Yeah, and I find that the game can get pretty cutthroat, considering you're trying to find out who the imposter is at all times, and you really have to pay attention to all your surroundings, what the other players are doing, and if you end up being the imposter, then you have to
play it cool.
You have to be very sly about it.
And what's cool is you can't communicate until either someone's reported. There's usually in the cafeteria there's 3 different levels. In the cafeteria on each level, there's a little red button. You can call an emergency meeting, or someone found a body, and you can report that body. But other than that, you can't communicate within the game. So you can't be like, I'm following so-and-so, he's doing this and this. It's you can only do that during the communication chance you have. And then when you go into the communications portion, if you found a body, you go into communications and you have to either vote to skip or vote to kick somebody out. And you can kick the wrong person out because everyone's pushing towards the wrong person or the right person. It just depends on how your gameplay is and how sneaky your killers are.
I know that the first few games that I played, I was somebody just, I guess, didn't like me and just kept labeling me the killer. And the first time I got kicked out, and I know that they all felt dumb because they kicked out the wrong person. The second time I made it through, but it's just funny because people will just, like I said, the cutthroat aspect is real in the game.
Yeah. And then when you die, you're not quite done yet. As a ghost of a crew member, you can still do your tasks. And in fact, I implore people to do their tasks because, one, you can still do them, and you can win the game that way as a crew member. If all the tasks are done before people are all killed off, then the crew members win the game. And vice versa, if you're one of the imposters and there's more than one your level in your game, you can still sabotage, which is something that the imposters get to do. You can still sabotage by shutting off the lights or messing with the generator or shutting doors on people. So that gives, even when you lose, you don't quite lose. Even when you die, you're not out of the game. You still have a role to play. And what's cool is the dead can communicate too, but their text doesn't show up to the living. It only shows up to the dead. So the dead can see the living and the dead text. The living can only see the living text.
And I think a key strategy in the game is to try to work with somebody, especially if you're just a crew member rather than an imposter, because it gives you more excuses as to why you're not the imposter.
Right.
It's harder to sell that fact if you're the imposter and you're following different people. I would suggest sticking with the same person and trying to work with them, but people can also consider you suspect for doing that as well.
Sus.
Yeah, sus.
Sus is used often in the game.
It is.
It's a lot of fun. I definitely suggest doing it. It is a game that I've probably played the last 3 days, pretty consistently. I'm kind of getting burned out, but you can play with the settings and stuff like that and make it more fun. The people you meet online are great. I had one room that I ended up staying 7 or 8 games with because it was just, everyone was so cool, everyone got along, and so we kept us hey, let's play again. And before you know it's trust me, man, trust me, I know, I've been with you since the beginning. And then that guy's the imposter, and you're, gosh, he gave it away, he set us up. But it's all fun and games. You die, it sucks, but it's all fun and games. overall, I think this is a great game. I think it's beyond a level of shitter. It's not a game you can sit there and just hash out for like 10 minutes and you're done. So it can be anywhere from like an hour to 2 hours to like a couple day stretch. But you do burn out kind of quickly because after a while it's just like it's the same thing over and over and over again.
I also find that one of the drawbacks to the game, and probably the only drawback really, is the fact that some people will quit if they're the imposter. And it's just like they don't want to be the bad guy, so they immediately just quit the game.
Yeah, some people quit. I mean, I enjoy being the imposter.
Yeah, it's fun.
It's all about line of sight and hiding and like knowing where to kill and who's following and stuff like that. But also, one thing that does suck is when people die in general, they quit, which means when you come back, it's like the lobby's less. But like when someone randomly quits in the game, most of the time it means they're dead somewhere, and now you got to try to find that body, which kind of gives it away that the death has happened. Instead of stumbling upon the body. And then on top of that, it's like the biggest mechanical, like actual development issue I have is that they'll list a group of rooms and you'll go and click on one that has room for like, let's say 2, like it's like 8 out of 10 and they haven't started yet and it won't connect. They'll say disconnect and you'll have to do it like 2 or 3, sometimes 4 times. The more I've played into it, the more it's gotten better. But at the beginning it was like, I did it like maybe like 10 or 12 times in a row. And I'm like, dude, I'm not getting into a single room. So I had to pick a room that had like 2 people in it. And luckily I got in there and sat around for a little bit and got in. Mm. So I'm saying on the tech side, that's probably an issue with the game. But I'm sure they're working on it because this game is becoming increasingly popular amongst a lot of streamers too. I just saw a streamer talk about it yesterday. And I was like, oh, cool, because I've been playing with it to do a video.
Yeah, I agree. It's a very fun game. I think Tyler is hitting it right on the head where he says that it's a level above shitter. Like I wouldn't play this when I'm pooping because your legs are definitely gonna fall asleep and you're gonna spend a lot of time on the game. But I can also understand where he says where you can get easily burned out on the game, and I think that's something else. Is just maybe play it for a day, put it down for a day or 2, and then come back.
Call like a DMV game. Like when you're at the DMV and you know you're gonna be there for a couple hours.
Yeah.
Like this was a quick way to burn a couple because you realize time flies. Yeah, and you burn a couple of hours at the DMV or waiting in line for something.
Definitely.
But that being said, check it out for yourself. Once again, it's called Among Us. You should see a little red like icon, like a little red guy with little goggles on. That's the thumbnail you're looking for.
Like a crudely drawn astronaut.
Like a really bad ghost from Pac-Man. But I think out of 1 out of 10, I think a 7 is a fair assessment because it definitely keep you in there, but you're going to get burned out over time. So, yeah, like Danny was saying, put it down, come back to it a month later, and you're like, oh, yeah. I mean, it's cool to mix up the levels, too, because different levels are different. Like, the first level is, like, more of a square, and then the second level, you have more of, like, a singular path. And you can take tunnels out of it, but, like, you can chase people down. People can see you chase people down there, so it's, like, it's easier to get caught, I feel.
I'm going to have to go with a 6.5. Again, I'm not big on app games on my phone. I like more PlayStation and things like that. But this one definitely captured my attention more than most. So, yeah, 6.5 out of 10. And it's a fun game, though. I'm not going to lie. I had fun playing the game. But it's not something that I'm going to keep coming back to over and over again. Like I said, I'll probably put it down for a little while and then come back. So,
that being said, I am Tyler.
And I'm Danny.
Once again, it is Among Us by Inner Sloth. Give it a shot. It's a lot of fun. Hope you enjoy it. Everyone stay bored. Stay safe. Make sure you wash your hands.
Wear a mask.
We'll talk to you guys again soon. We'll keep you posted with more things to come. Stay bored out there.